lovely human beings, Frank Valkyrie. Welcome to the channel Italian edition. Not because I'm Italian, but because I'm in my hometown. Are you checking the story on Instagram? Are you checking the stories on YouTube, the shorts? If you're not, go check them out. You see where I'm at, sharing with you my lovely hometown. Anyway, we got work to do. It's hot, it's very warm, so I gotta use every inch of my energy to channel the sanity that I need to go through all this madness that it's out here. Where do we start? We might have to do a different video for that, but you already know stuff are going absolutely berserk with the bots, with some of the mainstream media still trying to litigating this case of blaming the fans of JD for trolling, and when in fact all they do it's the other way around. They're literally projecting what those other people from her clan are doing. We are only literally reposting and commenting on the stuff that is surfacing, like this article of Jessica about this Gia person that actually might be this person right here, but we're gonna talk about it another time. I'm still channeling my deep voice. But unsealed document, let's not forget. Let's remind those people which they're trolling, trying to say that JD was exchanging messages with Marilyn Manson, who knows about what, doing this and that, blah, 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 blah. And then it turns out somebody was having like satanic parties, apparently. I don't know how satanic. We don't give a damn, honestly. But there is like underaged people involved, perhaps. So that gets criminal, especially when there are multivitamins, supplements, not multivitamins, supplements involved, if you know what I mean. So anyway, there's a madness. Before I go on a tangent, let's focus here on the beginning of the OPED, which basically caused the whole defamation case that Johnny Depp, won. So it's so incredible to read this email, this exchange, that really opens up your mind about the motives and the failure of some of the Me Too movement. This is the ACLU, right, contacting H about, let's do this. Shall we? Let's use our political power in the worst possible way without inquiring whether or not the person that we want as a spokeshuman actually to be legit and not a complete train wreck, because who cares about facts, right? So anyway, hi, Jody. I like your and A thoughts on doing an op-ed in which she discusses the way in which survivor gender have been made less safe under the Trump administration. Of course, they're going after Trump. Not that I care, but you already see the tone where it's going. And now people can take action. It can be timed for something after 11/14 when it's time to remind the newly elected Congress of their priorities. Her ambassador title could appear in the byline and announced in the social media promotion on the piece. Uh, since the beginning, republication on social media. Fact check. In op-ed, she can argue that it's time to make sure that our leader take GBV seriously by highlighting the following. Congress delaying the reauthorization of WAWA, which expires 12/7, the ACLU lawsuit against Sessions over a new asylum rule implemented against asylum seeker fleeing, domestic, a new Title IX rule we're expecting Basti DeVos to issue this month, which will roll back protection for survivor on college campuses. She can also, of course, mention Trump's irresponsible attack on Christian Blasey for the survivor who don't report right away. If she feels comfortable, she can interweave her personal story. Personal story. In other words, translated in original language, fiction, science fiction almost. So where was I? Special story saying how painful it is as a GBB survivor to witness these setbacks. Target publication could include digital outlets like Teen Vogue, Marie Claire, and Vice broadly, or a paper like the LA Times. Nice. The reach of the ACLU. and the political power and the reach, when they want to do something, when they're motivated by political agenda, even though it seems that there is an underlying for the greater good need, still they're not checking facts that perhaps the person they're interviewing, it's a oxter, it seems, also lost a defamation case, still has to pay money to JD. So this is the part exchange with AH. Thanks so much, and Sean, for your work to protect and also make this piece true to her experience. I'd love to hop on a phone call if you're available. I'm free now for the next 5 minutes. Dude, you're sending an email and you're expecting somebody to read it in the it's now and be on the phone in the next 5 minutes. Long pause. It's awkward, like you. So you had a brilliant solution for the paragraph about not talking about the marriage. What marriage are we talking about? My concern is this paragraph. Then 2 years ago, after I got temporary restriction, or I guess my then husband, I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. The day I left the courtroom and walked into a pack of hundreds of photographers, I didn't have a team of bodyguards. My lawyers used their own bodies to block out space for me to walk to my car. The whole way there, I heard press yelling the same question in one form or another. Is it true you're making all these up? Could we cut the words marriage, divorce, and restraining order and say this below? Okay, before I go, oh my God, oh, sometimes I feel like this refreshing water, chilled, coming from the mountain, just pouring over my shoulder, cooling my body in this 40 degrees temperature. When I read these, and I actually know the outcomes and the facts, right? I never heard so much bullshit in my own existence, more than this. Now we know. We know that Morgan, what was it? Tremaine? You remember Tremaine from TMZ? The same guy with the nails painted, still very cool. I'm thinking about doing that. That he went testifying at the trial, which he said his word on the road that TMZ was noticed, was informed of the temporary restraining on, and people were sent to the court to make those chick chick digital clicks. So, in other words, translate in original language, was all a fake, was all a hoax. And now we know. But you see how far, like, what impresses me the most is actually the fact that people can actually channel themselves in a delusion of righteousness, right? Thinking that they are the sort of the hero of the story, while in fact they're full of shit. And I cannot help but ponder and wonder how many of those freaking nutcases are out there, and how many of people working for the ACLU they buy into the narcissist narrative of somebody, and they are literally giving a platform to a piece of human manure walking. All right, it's just unbelievable. So here we go. Of course, they know that they can get a defamation case here, and they change. Could we cut the words marriage, divorce, and restraining order and say this below? If we don't say something like I became a public figure representing DB, DA, the rest of the place doesn't really make sense. It's not clear whether I is taking about the abuse she witnessed as a child. What was the pivotal moment that changed things for her, and so on and so forth. So then 2 years ago, after I became a public figure representing DA, I felt the full force of our culture read for women who speak out lies, maybe. I had to walk into a pack of hundreds of photographers. Anyway, I don't even care to read these sort of modified articles. You know that the basis for all these articles is just fictional. And then we have AH responding, I was exposed to abuse at a very early age. I knew certain things young without ever having to be told. I knew that men have the power physically, socially, and financially, and that a lot of institutions support their arrangement. I knew this long before I had the words to articulate it, and I bet I learned it young too. Like many women, by the time I was college age, I had been harassed, sexually assaulted, but I kept quiet. I did not expect filing complaints to bring justice, and I didn't see myself as a victim. Again, so much BS that it's through the roof. When you take the history and all the things are coming out, literally this person was arrested because of a complaint of DV against her ex-spouse, right? And other things are coming out. Again, the delusion of believing of being something you are not, and especially on the latest allegation, again, allegations of those articles coming out about underage girls and those sex parties in Hollywood and pills and whatnot and grooming. Um, it's a catastrophic attempt this of manipulating the truth, and you see the origin of it. So honestly, I have no words. I have no words because the only thing we can do is really be careful with everything that we hear, with everything that it's fed to us, because the truth most time it's much more complicated than we think. And if none of the JD trial happened, if for whatever reason he chose to stay quiet and let this OPED to go on, the narrative would have stayed the same. They would have won with these lies, with those lies. But now we know they're just a bunch of lies. And honestly, I'm surprised that the ACLU is still keeping this person as their sort of spokeswoman, person, whatever. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for the support as always. All we can do is try to rectify ourselves as we go, trying to spread the truth. Take care of yourself. I need a shower again. Okay?